Hey all, how's it going? Just going to go for a little walkthrough on a mix down, start to finish mix of it. It's like a hip hop, grimy elements, dark kind of track. So let me just play that for you so you can get an idea of what it's all about.
Motherfucker started going insane, standing there in the pouring rain. His face is getting wet, I know he's upset. Motherfucker standing there going insane.
So it doesn't have any verse lyrics or anything in it yet. I've just done like a little hook. I mean, I might pass this on to someone else to put the verses in. But anyway, that's not important. Let's get into mixing. So and when I start producing tracks, I normally will do a rough mix just so I can put everything into perspective, and then at the end I'll just pretty much redo it again, because I don't know, that's just the way I work. So I'll always start by having it in the order of that I want to mix. So I've got the kick, clap, I've got my bass. It doesn't say bass because I'm always lazy when it comes to labeling. The only reason that I've got these drums labeled up is because I have to bounce them in from machine. I mean, that's just my workflow, but that's fine. So I start off by literally lowering all of the volumes. And then I will bring them in one by one. So I try and get like a rough balance, and I'll put a bit of EQ and everything on each one, and I'll fine tune afterwards. So start by bringing up the volume on the kick. I like to mix quite quietly. I'll normally start around, well, somewhere here, 4 dB, and I find if I do it quietly, then I lessen the chance of clipping. And if the mix is too quiet, I can literally highlight them or bring the volumes up of all of them at the end. I mean, I'll show you that when I get there. So let's start with this kick. I'm quite comfortable with it being there to start with. I'll then put on an EQ. I just use the standard Logic EQ. I'd cut around 200 there. That gets rid of the muddy, boxy kind of sound. I'm quite happy to do major cuts like that. Also, I'll remove a little bit of the low. And I normally send all my drums to a bus, so by clicking on the stereo out, I can send those to bus 2. I'll just, drum bus. I do that so that I can I'll put a little bit of compression on all of the drums overall, and also it allows you to turn them all up or down in the mix without having to go in there individually. So I've done the kick. I'll now come across to the clap. I cut everything off below 100 because there's not a great deal there, and again around 200 I'll do a slight cut. I'm gonna send that to my reverb. Just a little bit, just a bit of spice. Right, I'll now come and bring the bass in. Oh, before that, sorry, let me send that to the bus also. Put the drums. Okay, now bass. I pretty much make the same EQ moves on everything. You know, the ones that have got a lot of going on in the 200, you'll just find that cleans up a lot of the mud and the boxy sound. And I'll always roll up a little bit of the bass. I mean, this is more for when you're on the smaller speakers in the car, and you'll just find it dominates the entire track, and well, you don't get that clarity. So if you go ahead and remove some of the lower end, you don't have so much of a problem there. So I'm mixing on headphones to try and stop some of the feedback. So what I'm going to do is just turn my mic off quick, reference it on the speaker just to make sure I'm going well. Yep, it's all going good at the moment. Normally I'll find I'll get like 3/4 of the way through, and then you'll have to go back, adjust your kick or whatever, because sometimes, I don't know, it's just, I always find it difficult to set that. Right, so on to these little bells. Again, as you can see, there's nothing going on down here, so we'll just cut it off. And then just a touch more, just gives you more polish. Also, I would cut a tiny bit at the high. Also, get that sent across to the drum bus. Right, now we're good to move on to these little toms. This is the sound that they're making. So, not a great deal to do there. Pretty much just, again, send it across to the drum bus. I haven't got any effects on that bus yet, by the way, so I will be adding those in a moment once I've got all the drums in place. I really don't think there's much else to do there. I've also got those sent on a bus to the reverb. So once you've got all the levels up, you can go back and tweak things. You might find that you need to. Again, nothing needs to be done to the hi-hat. I am gonna, of course, send it to my drum bus though. And that's all of the drums. So now I'll head over to that drum bus, and I'll start with a compressor. This is the Waves compressor, the H-Comp. That is the mono version though. I need to go and find the stereo one. You know, always check out a few presets, what they've got, but I normally start with a preset and then fine tune it to how I like. You don't want to go mad, you just want to put a little bit, it just helps to tie them all in together. I mean, you might not notice too much of a difference, but it does help to glue it all together. And of course, now you've got this control, you can turn your drums up, down, so that's great. Right. I believe this is like a bass. It's like a bass without the bass, if you know what I mean, like some low notes. There you go. So I've already removed low end now. I don't need the low end because it's all coming from my sub bass that we did earlier. If I don't cut that, you'll notice it will start getting muddier because you've got too much going on. You just really need the essence of that sound rather than the bass of it. Looks like I've also got that going for a little reverb. I mean, here it is on its own. Right, next sound. I think, yeah, there's not a great deal to do with that. I'll just move straight on to the next one. Again, I've previously already done the EQ cuts there. I might just try removing a little of the top. I mean, you can see there's not a lot going on, but I guess it's just bad habits, you know, just what you always do. Okay, so this is this little string now. So set the level first. I normally just, you know, close my eyes, gradually bring it up until it sounds like it just fits in the pocket. I'll pop a little bit of compression on there as well, just to tie it in a little bit. If I can find it. Oh dear. That's my problem. I've got it set to mono. That's why I can't find it. I have no idea why, but let's try again. Yep, that'll do it. Well, I've got the attack set fast on there. Threshold midway. Ratio about 1:4. Okay, next we've got, oh, it's like a piano hit, here it comes. Again, I'll leave that EQ as it is. You've got a cut at 200 and a slight cut below 50. Now the vocal, I've got all of the effects on it already. All I should need to do is bring up the volume. But we will see. I'll talk you through everything I've got on there anyway, so I'll start that, I'll play that and try and get the level right.
Motherfucker started going insane, standing there in the pouring rain.
I'm hearing straight away I've got way too much reverb on there. You notice that, you know, you put it on there when everything's really loud and out of proportion and you can't hear it, but then when you've started mixing it, it's just, yeah, it's a bit mad.
Motherfucker started going insane.
And then you remove some of the reverb, and then all of a sudden it's really loud because, you know, it's more present. The reverb tends to send everything back off into the distance a little bit.
There in the pouring rain, his face is getting wet. I know he's upset. Motherfucker standing there going insane.
So on that vocal, I've tuned it with Melodyne. Nothing too destructive, just, you know, pop it in because my singing, well, it's not singing, talking, you know, even with the talking and the rapping, it's good to tune it. You'll see that it makes it so much more tighter, especially if you're a bit shit at singing and rapping like I am. Again, I've got all of the low cut off on there and a dip on the 200. I've got the compressor set pretty heavy. Mid attack release. I've got overdrive and I've got distortion on there as well. All stock Logic project plugins, and then I've got it sent across to the reverb. I could probably send it across to like a parallel compressor as well. I mean, I'll try that, see how that works out. Sometimes that gives it a bit more presence and a bit more of a kick, you know. I do need to organise these sometime. I mean, they're all over the place and you can never find them. And I'm looking for a stereo one when really I want a mono one. Ugh. On the parallel compression, I normally hit it really hard because, you know, you can then just put a little bit across.
I know he's upset. Motherfucker standing there going insane.
Stand the back. Down a little bit.
Motherfucker started going insane, standing there in the pouring rain. His face is getting wet. I know he's upset. Motherfucker standing there going insane.
I think that does give it a bit more punch. Okay, also I've got a high vocal here as well. It's pretty much the same, like a little harmony.
Motherfucker started going insane, standing there in the pouring rain. His face is getting wet.
Again, I've got exactly the same plugins, slightly different settings on each one. So the EQ is got a bit of a high boost. It's got way all of the low is taken out of there. It's just to add a bit of flavor. It's not really there to have much more impact than that. Again, I've got a compressor. I've got a the sample delay, which gives you a bit more of a stereo spread. So I mean, if I turn that off,
he's upset. Motherfucker standing there going insane. Motherfucker started going insane.
Okay, and then this is on.
Standing there in the pouring rain. Nice is getting wet. I know he's upset. Motherfucker standing
And off.
there going insane.
So yeah, that widens it up a little bit, and then I've got the again the overdrive and the distortion on there also. Yeah, sorry, my mic is making all sorts of noises. It's because I'm in the basement and people are walking around upstairs, and it's picking up on that, and that's doing my head in. I have got a noise gate on it, but it seems to be getting past the gate. Okay, so I'm gonna again turn my mic off. I'll get back to my speakers, and I'll have a quick overview of it and a playback.
Motherfucker started going insane. Standing there in the pouring rain. His face is getting wet. I know he's upset. Motherfucker standing there going insane. I started going insane. Standing there in the pouring rain. His face is getting wet. I know he's upset. Motherfucker standing there going insane.
Okay, so as you hear there, when I played it back through the speakers, I noticed how loud the vocal actually was. Say, I would never recommend mixing on headphones. It's a terrible idea, but until I figure out how to stop all my feedback problems, that's what I will be doing while I've got the mic on. I've probably got too much compression going on or something. But yeah, I mean, that's the overview. Any questions, you know, you can drop me a message and I'll get back to you. And yeah, here you go. I'll play it through almost start to finish. Here you go. Oh, just one more point. Obviously, once you've finished doing your mix, if you're not mastering straight away and you just want to go and reference it, you'll want to put a limiter on the end. You can use the Logic stock or any stock one, or you can, I mean, I use Waves, I just like it. I always set it to -3 and then just keep going until I've got a gain reduction of about -4.
His face is getting wet. I know he's upset. Motherfucker standing there going insane. Standing there in the pouring rain. His face is getting wet. I know he's upset. Motherfucker standing there going insane.
Okay, and I'll bring it over here so you can hear the breakdown.
standing there in the pouring rain.
Okay, so that pretty much just about wraps us up. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again soon.